everybody, here we are, we're back again, and this is week 3 of our Sew Along on the Pacific Northwest Life Quilt. Again, this is a collaboration with RebsFabStash. I'm so excited to work with them on this project. If you haven't gotten in on this, you can still contact them. And Carrie will put all of the information in the notes on the screen. So we're going to start on page 38 in our book, and we're going to be making 2 dark green with dark brown trunks, tall pines. So we have a couple different pine. We have a Douglas fir in our book, and we also have tall pines. The only difference is the trunk and 1 extra piece of fabric. So right now we're working on 2 identical tall pines. So what we're going to want to do, we're just going to make 1 at a time. You can do it how you want at home, but I'm going to walk you through 1 because there's some tricky flip corners in this, and I want to show you how I do it. Okay, you can see here that I've got everything cut out and ready to go and all labeled with my alphabeties. This one's really important to label. We've got more pieces in here, and you're not going to want to get confused because I'm going to show you a neat method so that we can have less pieces, less seams, and our block is cleaner. So right here, we're going to start with A and E. So I just want to grab 1 A and 1 E. Another E and an A. And I'm going to keep my other pieces labeled so that I'm not going to get confused on this. Now I'm going to try to do this backwards for you all. And you want to make sure, again, that your right side is down. And you can see that we're using 2 rectangles, and we are not using squares on this. And I'll show you how this works. I want you to follow these graphics. I'll walk you through it step by step. So we are going to, I am going to draw my diagonal line on this one. And this is really important. You can use your seam tape also if you want. You grab my pencil. But what you're going to need is you're going to want the exact point where your bottom rectangle, which is E, ends. So right here, I'm going to make a little mark there with my pencil, and then I'll know how to line this up. Let's see if this ruler will work. You can use any ruler that you want. I have a better one. And you want to just line it up from that point to the point of your top A right here, because this is going to be it, and we're going to then trim it just like we do for a flipped corner, but we're going to have an extra overhang here instead of doing a square on here and then having an extra seam to add this small piece. So I am still going to glue this down and use my seam-align glue because I don't want this to slip and I don't want to have to mess with it under my needle. Get it all lined up, hit it with my dry iron, and I'm going to sew directly on my diagonal line. You're going to be doing this method a lot through this book. So the first thing I want to do before I cut is I want to lay this down and I want to check my orientation to make sure that I'm not trimming away something important. Okay? So here we are. So I know that I'm going to trim this away. You can use your rotary cutter and a ruler or just use your scissors. Okay? And then this tells you that you are going to want to press to A. Flip this over, press to A. Run your starch pen along it, and there you go. Now you're going to be using the same E, and you can see where you have your A on here. Now you're going to do this. You're going to put your other A right sides together, and we're going to do the same thing, but we're going to do it opposite direction. Okay, so you want to line it up. On here. Maybe you have a lighter little mat. It's kind of hard to see the green on the blue, but I just want to put a little dot here. I want to draw that. Okay, I want to line up my point and my drawn point and just draw a line. Excuse me. Now I want to go ahead and put a couple drops of glue in here just to secure this so I'm not messing with it staying where I want it. Hit it with my dry iron to dry my glue and then stitch right on that drawn line. Check your orientation again. Great, now we have the top of our tree. It's okay to trim this off. And at the beginning of this video, I told you that you needed 2 A's and 2 E's. You don't. You need 1 E and 2 A's. Sorry, I have a little fuzz on my iron. So here we go. We've got our tree top. Now let's go on, and then the directions tell you that now you want to do it. You want to use the same process, but you want to use B and F. So now let's take B and F, and this time you're going to do it twice. Okay, you're going to make 2 F and B units. So let's do 1 unit at a time. So you've got, here you've got F, here you've got B. You're going to do the same thing, the orientation in the seam the same way. I don't know why I keep laying this out on this, so it's hard for my pencil. Put a little dot right where your dark green ends. Run your ruler from point to point. Draw a diagonal line. I'm going to put a couple drops of glue. And I'm actually going to do this twice because we have the next 2 sections of our tree are this. Here we go. We have our next F, another B, right sides together, line them up, find our point. I changed rulers, you can see that. I don't like that other one I had. Okay, draw your diagonal line. Few drops of glue. Stitch right on your diagonal line. Go ahead and refer back to page 39 in your book, and we're going to do the opposite sides of F. So we'll grab our other 2 B's, or not 2 B's, and then we'll, stick this down, and we're doing the opposite this time, okay? So we're going to stitch from this corner to this. We want to mark this. All right, now we're going to stitch our last 2 units for the tree before we make our trunk. And these are, you're using piece G and piece C. So we're just back to a regular flipped corner now. We're not using rectangles on rectangles. We're using squares on rectangles. So we're going to do both upper corners. Just going to go like this. Glue these down in a 1 quick method. Done with my glue. Make sure your right sides together. Line your square up on the end. Press. And because we're not overlapping in the middle, we can get it all glued down and ready to stitch at once. Line it all up. Right sides together. Hit it with your iron. Stitch again. I didn't draw my diagonal lines this time because I'm using the seam tape, but you'd stitch right on your diagonal line or use your red line on your seam tape. These are going to press towards background. This is put together for our tree. And then we're just going to make our stem unit, or our trunk. This is a tree. And then we'll put it all together. So here's your trunk section. We're just going to put a D, stitch a D on each side of H. And when we're done, refer to page 40 and you'll press towards the trunk. We've made our trunk. Now it's time to put our block together. I'm just going to lay it out here, let you get a look at it. I'll sew it together and then we'll be back when we're pressing it. All right. Okay, so you can see now our block is sewn together. It's time to press. On page 40 of your book, you've got all your pressing arrows, and we're going to press up this time. Every one. There you go. You've made one dark green with a dark brown trunk, tall pine, and now you're going to go ahead and make another one, and you are done. If you fell behind this week by any chance, don't worry, because week 4 is a catch-up week. The way that we're doing this sew along is you're going to have one catch-up week a month, because we understand things happen. Don't beat yourself up if you fall behind. Who doesn't fall behind on a block of the month? Really, most of us do. But that does give you a chance to catch up. And if you fall behind, any progress is progress. It doesn't matter, even if you use your catch-up week and you don't catch up. We don't care. Don't stop. These videos will be recorded for a year. Well, they'll be recorded and they'll be on my YouTube channel forever. So you can just pick back up where you left off, and you can find out any tips, tricks, anything that I have. Thanks for joining along this week, and we'll see you on week 5.